Hey, what is going on, party people? I want to share a video that was previously part of one of my paid courses, but I want to just pull this one out and shine a light on it because it's one of the most important conversations that I think a small business can have. And it is the reflection on and examination of your customer journey. So without any further ado, let's jump into this.
Customer journey, for those of you who may not be familiar with the concept or just want a recap, is it's the composition of three things. So if you picture like the purchase, the point of purchase where your prospects become customers, the actual transaction, and you draw a timeline out in either direction from there. That gives you three segments. It gives you like the pre-purchase or pre-sale like segment of their journey, the actual conversion point, the sale itself, and then the post-purchase journey as well. And those three things together comprise your customer's journey. And the reason I like to think of it that way is because too many businesses view their purchase, view that sale as like the end that you're building toward, as like the end of their journey, which it can be a trap because it tricks us into thinking like your work is done there. But I like framing it up as the center of that journey because I think that the post-purchase experience that we create for our customers is oftentimes just as meaningful or more powerful than the pre-purchase experience. But I think one reason we are tricked into thinking that way is like simply the term marketing automation, right? It has an emphasis on the word marketing, and we as business owners or as marketers think of marketing as it pertains to like that front segment of the journey, things leading up to the sale. But the truth is that automation can be just as powerful in the post-purchase experience. And there's a number of ways you can create experiences that drive customers into becoming advocates who create word-of-mouth referrals and naturally, fill the marketing machine and engine again. But for this video, what I want to do is take those three segments, pre-purchase, purchase, and post-purchase, and I want to break them down into like slightly more granular stages. So in the pre-purchase like runway, in that section of their journey, let's chunk it out into traffic, into like lead capture, into education and rapport building or nurture as a phase. And then that'll lead us to the actual sale, the conversion milestone. And then in the post-purchase journey, we have like the fulfillment area, the delivery section where you are fulfilling on whatever it was that they bought, products or services, etc. And then normally there's some sort of an ascension plan, whether it is guiding that customer towards a second purchase or a continuity program, a membership perhaps, or just simply encouraging them to tell other people about it and become an informal or a formal partner or advocate for your brand. And so if you take those different stages, traffic, lead capture, delivery of that lead capture, nurture, the sale, the fulfillment of the product, and then the ascension, and then some sort of partner or advocacy program. What that gives you is a gradient, a framework that maps and parallels the entire customer journey. Now, your business, I'm not suggesting that these stages are all brand new. Like you probably have something in each of these stages. The question here, and how I encourage you to like frame things moving forward, is what is the current reality? Like if we just use that as our framework, what happens in the traffic stage? Like what are we doing? How are we driving traffic? Where does the traffic come from? What are our paid or organic efforts? And then ask the same question for the lead capture. Like what are our different lead capture mechanisms and how are we capturing leads, and like what is the offer and is it aligned with like what we want them to do next? And then the experience that maps each of those stages or mirrors each of those stages, I just encourage you to comb over it and be as granular as you can in terms of like asking what do they actually experience? Because I find that far too regularly what our customers are experiencing is not necessarily something that we have designed, and instead it's just sort of this experience that has happened, right? Because I don't know if your business is anything like mine, but when you set out to like solve a problem, it's hard enough to find a solution. And so oftentimes we just get a version 1 in place. Okay, here's how we're gonna capture leads, or here's how we're gonna follow up with them, or here's how we're gonna, deliver our product. And, because it was hard or maybe challenging or intimidating to do that in the first place, we rarely revisit it to make it better and to ask, like, is this what we want? And so that's what this exercise is for. It very well might reveal gaps. You might say, wow, we do a great job of capturing leads, but not many of those leads make it to the purchase stage. And the reason I lay this out as a timeline is because I like to think of it as like paving a path, right? By combing over these individual stages and analyzing them on a detailed level, what you'll do is not just plug those gaps, but you'll recognize that these stages aren't actually, individual islands. They're part of an overarching, cohesive experience that we are crafting for our customers called the customer journey. And so, to boil it down, the goal for combing through each of these stages is not just to see if there is something there, although that's probably the baseline, is to make sure you have something in place at each of those stages, to make sure that you're using automation where it is appropriate to supplement or enhance their experience, and to make sure that the experience you are creating is intentional, and that it is logical, and that the steps are not disjointed, because that can create confusion for our customers. If the lead capture talks about one thing, but then the nurture talks about something else, and then the product we're asking them to buy is something entirely different, you want to make sure that the conversation is fluid and that these stages are designed with respect to one another, because sometimes our businesses, the way that they evolve, we put these pieces in place, and our business changes, our priorities change, our branding changes, right? And so by combing back over it with a singular lens, you can ensure that the experience we're curating is standardized, or consistent rather, throughout the whole experience for that customer. So takeaways here. Number one, make sure you have something in each of these stages, because whether or not you've designed it, that experience exists, right? Each of these stages are, I believe, irrefutably true for every business. It's just a matter of asking, what does it look like for your business? And then the second question is, like, what should it look like? Because our current experience, unless you have recently refined it and dialed it in, there's probably opportunities for you to improve on it, to make it more intentional and to make it more enjoyable for the customers. With the goal being that if we only had one customer, like, what would we do for them? If we could pour all of our time and energy into like creating an experience for one customer, the goal is to make that sort of the ideal benchmark that we're striving toward, and then to use automation to get our customer experience as close to that for every customer, so that it consistently produces positive results on a predictable basis. And we know that the experience, we can be proud of the experience we're creating. It gives us confidence in spending our ad budget to put people into this journey, because we know that on the other end it is producing advocates who enjoy and appreciate what we have to offer and are willing to tell their friends about it. And that is where I think marketing automation, that's the misnomer again, I think that's where automation can be so powerful, is standardizing the experience that creates the advocates that rave about our products to other people, which gives us the testimonials and the success stories that fuel the future marketing efforts. And that's the cycle we're after here, is creating a process that feeds itself and helps us attract the next batch of customers for whom we are the best fit. So that's the customer journey, guys. That's the framework I challenge you, or invite you rather, to use. And in terms of prioritizing like your immediate efforts, obviously if there is a distinct gap somewhere, and you think of it as a pathway, that is an area where people can just fall off the map. And so you want to make sure that you have something there. So I would look at like where you perceive to have problems in your business, right? If you're capturing leads, but you're not converting them, then your issue might be follow-up. It might be in that stage between the lead capture and the actual purchase, and you can go to work there. But if you're, converting people to customers and you just don't have, a bunch of positive testimonials, then maybe it's the post-purchase journey that needs your attention. And that's sort of how I encourage you to focus, is to look at your existing journey, find out where the gaps are, and then figure out where you can most easily use automation to provide a more seamless and fluid customer experience. And bear in mind that you're not just automating things for the sake of automating them. You're automating it to make sure that the experience is intentional and is predictable, and to buy back your time, right? If you're doing a bunch of things manually, then obviously your bandwidth will be exhausted, and what you are capable of delivering on is limited by that. But if you can automate certain segments that don't need to be done manually, then it gives you more time and energy to focus on the things that do have to, or that you choose to have remain manual. And it also gives you time that you can either reinvest into other areas of your business, or into exploring, future options for developing, evolving, or growing the way you serve your audience.
Okay, so that is enough on customer journey for this particular video. If you want to continue this conversation, I recommend the Lifecycle Automation course inside the Keep Academy platform, free to all Keep users. It's a deeper, more thorough look in terms of not just the customer journey, but using lifecycle automation to organize it. Now, the takeaway is that your customer journey already exists. If you have customers, they have had a journey. And so the question isn't really about whether or not that's true. It's about whether or not their journey is something that you designed. Is it something that you're proud of? And is it producing the results that you expect from it? And once you have done that, once you have made that journey optimized or predictable or seamless, then the next natural question, and what I would encourage you to spend your time on, is how can we inject automation into that experience to enrich it, to make it even better, right? To make things possible that you couldn't otherwise do with the constraints of manual energy. And in that vein, you multiply the ROI that Keep and automation tools provide for you by layering it into that customer experience, by baking it into the customer journey, and using it to systematically turn those leads and prospects into customers, and then into raving fans. So that's it for now. Hopefully you have found this valuable. And if you want a homework item, go check out the Lifecycle Automation course inside the Keep Academy platform. Take care.